Welcome to a Legendarium special about the Gordian Emperors, a tragic Roman dynasty. In this episode, we will talk about the unexpected and unlikely rise of the Gordian Emperors and their inglorious end. When Maximinus Thrax became emperor after retiring Alexander Severus by murdering him, the Roman Senate chafed at the thought of being ruled by an illiterate barbarian. Over the next 3 years, Thrax's heavy taxes, which funded his military expeditions in Germany, weighed heavily upon the minds and pocketbooks of many senators. They soon sensed an opportunity to free themselves. Marcus Antonius Gordianus Sempronianus, known to history as Gordian I, was born in 159 to an unknown father and mother. Some claimed that he descended from the Roman Emperor Trajan on his mother's side and the Republic reformers Tiberius and Gaius Gracchi on his father's. Regardless, Gordianus lived as a wealthy landowner and served as a Roman senator and consul. For a time, he served as governor of the famously troublesome province of Lower Britain. Little is known of Gordianus's personal life, save that he married and begat at least one son who survived into adulthood, who in turn married and gave his father a grandson. Despite Gordianus's advanced age, Emperor Maximinus Thrax appointed him the governor of Africa, something the emperor would soon regret. In Africa, imperial agents collected taxes at spear point, which prompted several young nobles to mobilize their tenants and murder the tax collectors. To make their illegal rebellion legal, the young noblemen declared Gordianus their emperor. At the time of the taxman murders, Gordianus rested at home, enjoying a respite from labor and duty. A band of rebel noblemen approached him with swords drawn, overpowered Gordianus's guards, and surrounded the bewildered old man. For a moment, Gordianus feared they came to murder him, but instead they draped a purple cloak around him and proclaimed Gordianus their emperor. At first, Gordianus begged for his life, and one of the youths responded, "Death awaits you this very day if you decide against us and refuse to join us, and we shall die ourselves if need be, after we have killed you." Likely not feeling much better, Gordianus took the imperial name Gordian and arrived in Carthage with his son, who became, appropriately enough, Gordianus II. Without delay, the two Gordians sent a message to the Roman Senate, telling them of the sudden regime change. While neither of the Gordians ever set foot in Rome during their reign, the new emperors pledged to suppress all informers, return the exiles, and issue bonuses for the army. After accepting the Gordians, the Senate voted to make the slain emperor Alexander Severus a god, and then declared Maximinus Thrax an enemy of the state. Many of his supporters in Rome were chased down and murdered in the streets. Next, word went out to all the provincial governors to pledge loyalty to the Gordians. Capellianus, governor of Numidia, hated Gordian I because he previously lost money to him in a lawsuit. Seeing a chance for vengeance, he mobilized his legions to march on Carthage. The governor's battle-hardened troops proved too much for the small tenant farmers' militia defending Carthage. In the skirmish, Gordian II died under a shower of Numidian javelins. When he received word of his son's death, the elder Gordian became distraught and hung himself on May 12, 238 AD. Father and son ruled for only 22 days. Capellianus then celebrated his victory by ordering the execution of all prominent rebels who happened to survive the battle. He then looted the temples and seized the estates of rebels too dead to object. When word of the elder Gordian's death came to Rome, the Senate became dumbstruck with fear, knowing that Maximinus Thrax marched south to take his revenge. Aware that they could not make peace with Thrax now, the Senate declared both the dead Gordians to be gods. Roman heaven must have been getting very crowded, and then appointed two new co-emperors, Decius Balbinus and Marcus Pupienus Maximus. However, the people of Rome wanted the imperial purple to remain on a Gordian, and greeted the two new emperors with insults, jeers, and flung stones. To appease the public and prevent riots, the Senate named the grandson of Gordian I, imaginatively named Gordian III, Caesar and heir to the imperial purple. Meanwhile, Emperor Maximinus Thrax arrived at the Roman-Italian city of Aquileia, where he met with staunch resistance. Tired and hungry, the Praetorian Guard turned on Emperor Maximinus and his son and murdered both of them as they slept. The jubilation would be short-lived, for both Pupienus and Balbinus would soon be seized and murdered by the Praetorian Guard after failing to bribe them sufficiently. The Guard then dragged the corpses of the two men through the streets. Since the Praetorians found no other candidate for office, they proclaimed Gordian III their new emperor, the corpses of his predecessors still bloating in the streets. At the age of 13, Gordian III became the youngest sole legal Roman emperor in its 1,000-year history. Unsurprisingly, he received little, if any, real authority. Most power remained in the hands of the Roman Senate. Luckily for both Gordian and the empire, a man emerged who could rule the empire for him. Gaius Aquila Timesitheus became the new prefect of the Praetorian Guard in 241 AD. Timesitheus even married his daughter to the young Gordian III, though it is unknown if they had any children. Thanks to Timesitheus, the young emperor saw some real successes. Timesitheus purged the army of soldiers who murdered his father and grandfather, and when the new governor of Carthage tried to proclaim himself emperor, the governor of Numidia suppressed him, as he once suppressed the Gordians in Carthage. The Historia Augusta described Gordian III as a light-hearted lad, handsome, winning, agreeable to everyone, merry in his life, eminent in his letters. In nothing, indeed, save his age, was he unqualified for imperium. He was loved by the people, the Senate, and the soldiers, as no prince had ever been before. However, it would be problems in Asia, not Africa, that doomed the final Gordian. The new Persian king Shapur I began calling himself the King of Kings of Iran and non-Iran. He boldly invaded the Roman province of Syria and threatened the capital city of Antioch. Timesitheus mobilized his troops and, with the assistance of the Roman fleet, moved eastward to save Antioch. Not only did Timesitheus defeat the Persians at Rhegiana, but he recaptured the once lost cities of Carrhae and Nisibis. However, before he could continue on the campaign, Timesitheus became ill and died. Marcus Julius Philippus, more commonly known as Philip the Arab, replaced Timesitheus as Praetorian prefect. He swiftly engineered a plot against the young emperor. Knowing that he could do as he pleased so far from Rome, Philip spread talk among the soldiers that young Gordian could not manage the empire. Thus it would be better for someone to rule who could command the army and understand public affairs. When Philip refused to follow the emperor's orders, the angry Gordian III gave his troops a choice, either him or Philip. Lacking confidence in the 19-year-old emperor, they chose Philip, and on February 25, 244 AD, Philip's men murdered Gordian III on the Euphrates River. Philip quickly negotiated peace with the Persians and returned young Gordian's body to Rome. There, He told the Senate that the emperor died of natural causes. Like his father and grandfathers, the Senate declared young Gordian III a god, and he would be remembered fondly as a charming and good-natured emperor. Though he held power for 6 years of relative peace, he only did so through the power of greater men, which ultimately doomed him. That wraps things up for this episode of The Legendarium. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, press like. If you want to see more, press subscribe. And if you've got anything to say, let me know in the comments section. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope that you have a great rest of the day.